Today I'm going to talk about what hustle culture does not tell you. I've always been someone who has embraced kind of the hustle culture mindset. I was always called try hard growing up. People get upset at me with doing so much. And the past few weeks I've been sucked into it, trying to start this YouTube channel and just all the online business stuff I'm trying to work on, along with my regular job, and then along with coaching business I run, and along some other things that I've been doing too. So I've been kind of deep into it. And the idea that hustle culture gives you is that if you work as hard as you can, like if you give up everything right now in terms of your free time and you grind it out, then you will obtain your goal and you'll get what you're looking for. And it's hard because some of that is true in the sense of if you do sacrifice, you need to sacrifice the present in order to get the future, right? I think Jordan Peterson harps on this a lot. But if you don't give up now, like if you just seek pleasure now constantly, you're not going to have anything in the future, because you need to give up, you need to work for the future. And so what hustle culture, and when I say hustle culture, I'm saying you grind it out. You're working as hard as you can. You're doing everything in your means to get where you want to be. It's too much, and I'll explain why. You know the story Elf with Will Ferrell? Great Christmas movie. Think of the father in Elf. The dad he's kind of in a predicament at work because he needs this next book to be successful because he was unable to produce a good product before. So he brings in the best, right? He brings in was it Finch, Mr. Finch? He brings in the best bookmaker so they can get this done. And it's right around Christmas time, obviously. And you see the father's life. He doesn't give any time to his kids or his kid. Buddy comes on, and he doesn't want anything to do with him because he's a hurdle in the way of him to get his work goals. The wife, I mean, it looks like he has an okay relationship with his wife, but you don't get the idea that they've been doing well. I don't know. It just seems like it could be better. Yeah, and so it's Christmas time. He's completely focused on grinding this thing out, right? He's spending all the time at work. There was at one point where they're at dinner and he takes his food to go to the office and do work, acts like it's no big deal. And I think he looks at the picture with Susan Wells at that time. But anyways, besides the point, this guy works and he's trying to get what he wants, and he's giving up everything, especially his family, in order to get that. And the irony is, and then that's the ultimatum that he has to come to in that movie when he's in that meeting room is he going to continue to live this way, or is he going to sacrifice that mindset of sacrifice? So in his mind, he's sacrificing his time to work hard to get what he wants. Is he going to give that up and actually make a sacrifice of, well, I could be working hard, I could be doing everything I need to do in order to grasp my goal, but I'm going to give that up, and I'm going to focus on the immediate needs of my family, because that's the present and that's what's actually being asked of me. And that's what he's confronted with when he sees Buddy in that office room, and then he ends up going with Buddy because of this urgent need with Santa. But the irony is, he gives up, right? He gives up working, but then he obtains his goal by the means from which it feels like he's giving up to serve. So obviously Buddy writes the book at the end, or the book is Buddy's life. But the funny thing is, sorry, I got a roadblock here. The funny thing is, that's the opposite of what he expected. He thought that if he served Buddy or spent time with his immediate needs, then he would lose what he was trying to get. He would lose his ultimate goal. And that's writing this book and whatever, making money, doing well at his craft. But he actually gives that up, and because he does, he obtains what he's looking for. And hustle culture doesn't talk about this. There's no one that talks about this because this requires faith. And it's getting somewhat into biblical terms, but the idea is that because he cannot accomplish what he's trying to do, sorry, let me back up. Because he's trying to accomplish it only using his own means, because he's only working as hard as he can, and he's fully focused on what he can do. Because he's in that, it's all about him, right? If he accomplished it, it would be fully from his work, fully from what he's done. When he gives that up, when he gives that work ethic up and focuses on the present more, then he's able to release that grasp that he has on working, and with that open hand receive then what he's trying to get after. Because if he spends time with his family, if he spends time like what he did, he spent time going to, was it Central Park, and singing about Santa. Nothing in logical sense would associate that with him writing this book that he needs to write, right? A logical thing would be to stay in that room and talk with Mr. Finch and get the book. But the irony is, he gives that up, and he has faith that even though he needs to accomplish this goal, even though he wants to, it's his vision, the reality is, if he gives that up, he will obtain it, because he has faith that even though he spends time with Buddy, even though he's going to do this thing that doesn't have anything to do with his book, there's faith that that's more important, and that's what's actually being asked of him. And he has faith that if he does that, I don't think he knows in the moment that he's going to get this book, but he has faith that it's going to work out because the family stuff's more important. And so with the hustle culture, no one talks about that part. It's all, you do it on your terms. You got to work max velocity. But there's things that are required of us in life, and there's things that are bigger than us. And we need to humble ourselves and trust that even though we could be working all the time, even though we could give everything up, it's not what's noble. It's not what's truly being asked of us. Sometimes just our being present and being in the moment is what is being asked of us. And a lot of times that is family things, right? Like, so for us this past week, we had our first ultrasound, and we unfortunately had the news. Well, we found out we had twins, and then we got the news that they had no heartbeat. And we were absolutely devastated. We've been trying for a while to have our first kid. And for me, I was in this grind. I was focusing on this online business, trying to work this out in my free time. I had my coaching. I had my gardening stuff and my regular job. I was doing so much, and I was firing on all cylinders. And man, it was just a slam in the face, because even if I was able to get it, doing it that way, it's not worth it, because I don't want to obtain it through my own means. I want to receive it. And to be able to sacrifice that and say, well, this family thing is way more important. Oh, and I had a conference I was going to go to this weekend. I didn't even talk about that. I should be at a conference right now. Gave all that up. This family thing is more important. and having faith that even though I could be working, what I'm longing after, God will provide at the right time, because this is what's being required of me now. And then when I obtain that, it's not going to be, oh, look what I did. It's going to be, man, I received that, and what a blessing that will be. So I don't know where you're at right now. I don't even know how many people are going to watch this, but give it up. Give up the grind. You know, I'm not saying don't work hard, but you need to have a life. And if you're just constantly working right now, what life are you working? But you don't have a life to work for in the present. All you're doing is stuff for the future. You're denying the present for the future, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how to say that that's sin, but that's dangerous. So yeah, I hope this is encouraging to you. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And yeah, that's a hard reality. But yeah, my name is Nicholas. I'm on an adventure to discover an authentic and balanced life. And I'm trying in this channel to... Jeez. We just had a storm. I've been walking over stuff. I'm trying in this channel to be an online mentor, an online friend for people who in this life don't feel like they fit in, feel like they've been born in a different age, and just want to live a balanced life that's true to themselves and true to living. Not get caught up in these ideologies. Just live level-headed for God's glory and not for man's. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe, and let me know in the comments below how this resonates with you. Take care.